Let me show you how we create emails for brands that generate sales like these, 452K, 589K, so on and so forth. And let me tell you, you don't need any graphic design experience because a simple email like this generated this $25,000 in sales. And again, you don't need graphic design experience because we're going to go through 5 of the elements where graphic design is only one of the elements that generate a great and powerful email marketing campaign. Now, in order to have a successful marketing campaign, first thing I want to talk about is research. Research is the cornerstone of any type of copy you write, whether that's for paid ads, that's a landing page, that's an email. Where most people kind of neglect research is for email marketing. They would do a lot of research for paid ads, they would look at competitors' creatives, talk to the customers, but for emails, they kind of neglect it. And in order to do research for email marketing, it's fairly straightforward. Most of the research is just you talking with the customers and understanding their pain points, their desires, what are their objections. A great example of this, one of the ways to research is reading testimonials. Now, you can read the testimonials of your own brand, or you can read testimonials of different competitors. You can go, let's say, into Amazon. I'll take a look at Evil Goods Beef Tallow. We can take a look at their reviews and what people are saying. Here, we can sort by the most kind of used words. Skin softness, moisturizing. We can see whether people are talking about it in a positive or negative way. And this is actually how we wrote one email for Kanzuri shoes, which I'll show to you later. The next thing is looking at Facebook comments. And this is powerful because people comment their objections or their questions within under the Facebook ads you run. And quite frequently, great marketers look at these to handle these objections within ads, but you can also take and handle these objections within email marketing campaigns that you send for non-buyers, for example. Up next, we have customer support tickets. And here, primarily, I'm looking at the customer support tickets your team receives from people that are about to buy the product. That's something we look into too. Here for ads research, you want to look at the best performing ads for your brand as well as your competitors. If you're doing this already, you already kind of have discovered, and I'll have a different video that talks about how you can use paid ads and principles there to implement within emails. Then up next, we have Reddit. Reddit is interesting. You can look into different subreddits where people talk about the problems they have. If it is shoes, you might even be able to enter the brand name of your brand or your competitors to see how people are talking about the brand in a positive or a negative way. I'm undressing a button, getting a little sexual. Anyways, Reddit is a very powerful tool. I typically use it to gather stories from the customer, stories of how they've used the product, how it's helped them, how maybe it hasn't solved the problems they have had. So Reddit has been great. Up next, yeah, what I mentioned here, collect stories. This is from Reddit. Gather proof and build an ideal customer avatar. This is basically what you want to do with the research that you've done. You want to collect different stories. These stories can be about your brand, how the product was made, how the founder decided to build the product, what the manufacturing process looks like. For one of the brands we'll write an email for later, they have a process of deodorization, which is something nobody talks about in the industry and is actually one of the key components to separating high-quality products from low-quality competitors. Gather proof. Gathering proof is you finding research articles, you finding, let's say, celebrities that use a product. It's stuff and proof that backs up the claims you make. If you say that, for example, your skincare product can eliminate acne in 2 weeks, you need to show before and afters. You need to show peer-reviewed, even like general scientific studies that talk about the ingredients your product uses that maybe your competitors don't have. And last but not least, you want to build an ideal customer avatar. Building the ideal customer avatar means that you know who you are selling to. Is that a man? Is that a woman? Are they married? Are they not married? This adds a lot more variables to the emails and the content we can create. Because if we're selling, let's say, to someone who's single versus someone who's married, the married, couple, they might be able to buy a product for themselves, then maybe, for their spouse or their husband, for their kids, if they have those. So all these elements are very important when you're writing any kind of content. Now, moving onwards, once we've done the research, we can move on to the next step, which is actually much simpler if you do the research correctly, and that is building the angle. The angle really answers two questions of like what are the limiting beliefs we want the reader to break, and then what's the idea we want to give to the reader. By idea, I'll give you an example. There was a clothing brand that we were talking with, and they were selling skiing equipment for the winter. Alongside the skiing equipment, they had shorts, swimwear shorts. At first, you might think that it's very random to have those, and their reasoning for even having this product in the first place was to eliminate the seasonality of their brand, which I don't think it was super successful at, unfortunately. However, these shorts, if we had to sell them within an email, they're not that difficult to sell for a skiing company. Why? If you know the customer, you know what they do, you know where they hang around, you know that, for example, they go to Aspen to ski or to Switzerland to ski, you know most likely they're going to be staying at a resort or near a resort. If you've ever been to a skiing trip, you know there's a bunch of these high-level hotels with resorts, spas, with saunas, with hot tubs. A lot of the Airbnbs have hot tubs as well with a beautiful view of the mountains. If we want to give the customer an idea of like, hey, you've bought the skiing equipment. After a long day of skiing, you might want to enjoy yourself and treat yourself to a nice hot tub. You should buy this pair of swimming shorts. Pretty simple. And the idea is just to give the customer the idea of like, hey, you're going to be there. This hot tub is going to be there. Therefore, you need to buy this product, which you can buy right now as an add-on after, a successful purchase. And with the beliefs that we want to break, I'm mainly here looking at the objections we get from like Facebook comments or, for example, Reddit. Yeah, that's fairly straightforward. That's how I look at angles. Moving forward, what we have is segmentation. Now, we have the ideal customer's avatar. We have kind of like the angle that we can think about when creating an email. Then we have segmentation. Segmentation, you really have four main segments. These are targeting audiences within your emails that you can message. One being buyers, non-buyers, engaged, and unengaged. Those are the big four buckets of people you can message. Fairly straightforward. With buyers, you can upsell them, cross-sell them. Non-buyers, you can get them to convert. For example, handle a lot of these objections within Facebook comments, customer support tickets. Engaged, unengaged, this is just whether they have opened an email or not. You have specific emails for those, but I'm not going to dive too much into this video. I'm going to move forward on the more important stuff. Fourth element of creating a successful email campaign is timing. The question here is, are there any holidays or not? If there are holidays, okay, great. We know that, for example, in January, we don't necessarily have any holidays to prepare for the most part, but we know in February we have Valentine's Day, as an example. So we know at the end of January, if let's say we have high demand, we can hype up specific products for February, tell them that, hey, these products might sell out. So if you want to buy it as a gift for Valentine's Day, you need to do it right now, so on and so forth. Last but not least, and this is the last point, it's design. Here you can see an email looks good, an email that's just like a very basic text email, right? Design is not the most important element. It's just kind of like a way to package the angle alongside with the research and the proof that you've put together. And here you really have two options, which I've shown to you here, a text-based email and a visual email. Those are two options you have. Now, to put everything into practice, we're going to be writing an email live for Kanzuri Shoes. Now, to stick with the idea of simplicity, we're not going to be creating any emails with any fancy designs. We're going to be focusing on these simple text-based emails. So in terms of research, I have a little bit of familiarity on what they sell, how they do it. If I had no familiarity at all, or if I needed to build out the research plan from scratch, I would obviously look at more testimonials, Facebook comments, a lot of ads too, finding the ads that they've been running for the longest. And also, yeah, just gathering proof and whatnot from their team. So I'll just open up a new Google Documents. We'll just type in email for Kanzuri. I have no idea on what this email is going to be about, how we're going to create it, but I'll look and start with their Amazon reviews to see what people talk about. So style. Most people like the style of the shoes. Not only they look nice, but they feel even better. Great. Confidence boost, giving you the confidence boost you're looking for. All right. So something I want to mention for the Kanzuri shoes, these are height boosting shoes. So they increase your height by 2.4 inches, which is mainly used for dating and mainly used for, I would say primarily dating and increasing the confidence of the people. From what I know, their customers' avatar is primarily going to be the younger audience. You can tell that mainly from the ads. It's primarily going to be like 18 to 24. So that's the audience that we're looking at and we're trying to focus on. In this age, most of them they're still like who they are. If we have to qualify them, I would imagine our ideal customer avatar, ideal customer. I'll call him Herbert. Just an interesting name. They're definitely not going to be called Herbert, but I'll just do this for the sake of the video. Age, again, I'll put 18 to 24. They are going to school or they're in uni. They lack confidence. They want to get more dates. Like just from very shallow research, this is what Herbert kind of wants, what they desire, and what they fear. I would say even they fear rejection. These are things I already know from just looking at their ads before and knowing the brand. I would dive a lot deeper, but I'll show you an actual research file. So like this is going to be blurred, but you see there are 12 pages of research for one of the clients that we're working with. Some of it are links, some of it are answers to questions. It's 12 pages of research. So this is just a very, very bare bones overview just for the sake of the video because the research part takes a long time to get right. But here, all right, so we've done a little bit of the research. We can look at more of the reviews, what people care about. So confidence boost, style, that's important. Comfort, 23 positive, 27 negative. People are mainly not so liking the comfortability, but style and confidence boost is what they like. Material quality, 50-50. Height boost, value for money, those are all negative traits, right? So if I was, for example, to come into the industry, those would be the traits I would look for to kind of outcompete them in their own game. But again, for the sake of this video, we'll stick to this. I might find a product with more reviews. Give me a second. Also, in terms of an ad, we can see an ad here, right?
1,000%. Taller guys are more attractive.
Okay. Would you rate a guy who wears shoes to make him taller?
I don't care what shoes. I mean, I wear a push-up bra.
Kansuri sent me out here to have people try on their new shoes.
So you see, like this video, this handles a couple of the concerns people have. Do women care about height boosting shoes? Women like tall men. So we know like a couple of the pain points and some of the objections that people are having.
To add 2.4 inches to your height.
2.4 inches.
So now you can say like you're 6 foot or whatever.
I feel tall. I feel good. These are nice.
How you feel?
I'm on top of the world. I feel more up to level with people, bro.
Now you actually 6 foot.
Feeling tall.
That's a confidence boost?
That is a confidence boost.
Okay. Okay.
Speed, comfort.
Okay.
It's the whole package.
If you want to be the tallest in the game and the most confident, you got to get these.
All right, cool. So like even from that one video we got, that's a featured video. Most likely it performed well. If I had to know whether it performed well or not, what I would do is I would look into foreplay and look at the longest running ads. But right, we have something to work with right now. Then let's look at a couple of the reviews. All right, I have an idea for the email that I want to write. Email would be Mythbuster campaign. The idea is, again, if we look back at the principles we implemented, I did a little bit of research, then I'm thinking about the angle. What is the idea we want to give to the customers? What's the belief we want to break? I call this the Mythbuster campaign because I want to collect a couple of myths and, as the name entails, just basically bust them. So I'll just continue the research part. What are the myths that are we going to having? Then, in terms of segmentation, who would be sending this email to? I would say primarily non-buyers. This would be an email primarily for non-buyers. Timing-wise, nothing much to add here. And design, obviously, we have text only. So let's look at a couple of myths. Let's find, for example, 3 myths All right, I have 3 minutes that I've put together. I'm gonna create a quick table. This is just how we write emails. I'll type in subject. We don't even need, we just need the subject line for a text-based email. All right, so I've prepared kind of like an outline for an email. This is how it would work. Jesus, something fell down. Subject line would be 3 myths busted. Fairly straightforward, just straight to the point. The way I would write the email is very conversationally. Imagine as if you're talking to a friend. Hey, first name. This first name is just a variable for Klaviyo to enter their first name. Hey, first name. Or actually, I'm going to go more straightforward. Right, one thing I do want to mention, I'm swapping these around because I'm trying to think of the structure. For example, myth 3, if you're under 6 foot, you're cooked. This is just the language people use. I'm also in this age group, so I know what the fuck is up on TikTok. Anyways, let's dive into the email itself. All right, so I started off with some sort of a hook. I saw that you were looking to buy consider shoes, but something's holding you back. I can bet it's one of these 3 myths. This is just calling them out, and if we're writing these conversational emails, these emails look as if a friend is sending you a message. Literally, you can see this doesn't look like a marketing email at all. I didn't, like, I could say, for example, hi, first name. To be fair, I will, just to make it more conversational. But again, fairly straightforward. Then we're going to dive into the myths. Myth 1, women don't like men who wear height boosting shoes. Reality. Boom, there you go. So I've prepared this email. Took me roughly like, yeah, 10 minutes or something. But yeah, you can see this email fairly simple, fairly straightforward. There may be some double checking you need to do with formatting and the grammar, but overall this email is ready. As you can see, setting everything like this up is fairly simple. And you saw how we finished the research process. You saw how we put together the angle, how we decided who we're going to send this email to, and the design we put together for this email. And you can see how actually easy this is. Now, if you want to get access to this cheat sheet with all the tips that I've put together, go to my Instagram page. It's going to be linked below, and DM me Jan Sheet. Jan Sheet. DM it to me, and I'll be able to send that to you. Now, here's the thinking. You have the knowledge you need to write killer email campaigns, but without implementation, you're leaving money on the table. Here I put together a new video where I talk about how you can use your current paid ads knowledge and your current paid ads to create more emails consistently without running out of ideas. So click this video here, and I'll see you then.